All right, everybody, let's do the shuffling problem. I want to illustrate what I think you should be doing at your house, which is always running the code that you turn in as an answer. So even before, so this is the problem statement. I'm going to write a method called shuffle, which randomizes the order of the elements in the input. Before I even write the method, I'm going to make some print statements that I'll use afterwards to check if it worked. So here I'm printing out arrays.toString test array, and here's test array. So in other words, I'm just going to print out this array. Then I'm going to run the shuffle method that I haven't made yet. And I'm going to run it on test array. And then I'm going to display the results. This is not a perfect test, but at least this will show me if something reasonable is happening. All right, so now let's go ahead and create shuffle. Here it is. I'm going to rename the input R for array. So here's one version of what you might have done. This is not necessarily the best thing, but this is a reasonable thing to want to do. This is what I suggested in my hint. So the pseudocode would be repeat many times, and then I'm going to calculate a random location, and then I'm going to do that again, and then I'm going to swap values at 2 locations. So in other words, just over and over and over again, I'm going to choose 2 different spots in the array, and I'm going to swap their values. And if I do that enough times, it should, what's happening? If I do that enough times, it should probably randomize the values. All right, so let's implement this, and then let's say what's wrong with it. All right, so repeat many times. So I'll use a for loop. How many times should I repeat? I don't know. That seems like a lot of times, right? Let's do that. By the way, this is what's bad, what I'm doing right now, but we'll say why in a second. All right, let's calculate some random locations. So location 1 is going to be math.random, and then array.length, because that's between 0 and the last index of the array. And then location 2, I will do that, I will do that same thing. And then there's that pattern that I provided for you in the assignment here. Here's, it says swap 2 elements. So this is the pattern I want to use to swap the elements. And of course, you don't want to just blindly copy and paste. You want to think about why does it make sense. So I've got array location 1, and then array location 1. Now that I've saved it, I'm going to overwrite it with the location in the other value. The value in the other location. And now I'll take the other location, and I'll overwrite that value with the first location's value, which I have saved into this temporary variable. All right, so I've implemented my pseudocode. Let's take a look and see what it looks like when I run it. Good thing I made those running test methods. All right, well, that seems like plausibly it has shuffled it. So what's the problem with this? I think one major problem is how do we know how many times is enough times to repeat this? So my test array is very short, but what if my test array had been 1 million elements long? There's no reason why it couldn't be. In that case, only repeating this 10,000 times is not remotely close to enough to randomize the array. So one thing you could do is, let's say, like array.length. Well, let's see. If it's 1,000 elements and I randomly swap 1,000 times, maybe that's enough to randomize it, maybe not. I don't know. Let's multiply it by 6, right? So maybe this is enough, maybe not. If it was really important that this be random, you would want to do some kind of statistical analysis to try and figure out how many are enough. There's actually a different algorithm, a famous shuffling algorithm called Fisher-Yates, or sometimes Knuth-Fisher-Yates. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now.